Hi, Aquarius. So I just did the Leo reading, and we talked about how the North Node has gone into Cancer now, and how that's going to affect them. But how is that going to affect you? Because you had the South Node in your sign for a year and a half, and that had to do a lot with karma and righting things that were wrong from either your childhood, bringing up a lot of past stuff for the last year and a half. And now you kind of get to breathe again because family issues have been dealt with and lessons have been learned, and life is feeling a little bit lighter than it was before. If that's not you, then all of the karmic activity that's going on in Capricorn right now is a test of where you are going and what you have learned. And are you going to rebuild from something that already fell from the past, or are you going to rebuild from something moving forward? So far, the cards look really, really good. And this is one of the reasons why you are one of the last readings. Because other signs are really going through it, and you are in a testing phase for the next part of 2019, right? So we're going to go into 2019 with a clean slate. Yeah? Hopefully. So I have the Magician and the Eight of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands. So if you're trying to, I feel like this Sagittarius season, I feel like the Queen of Wands is representing Sagittarius season along with the Magician, because this is a very Jupiterian energy. Yes, it's ruled by Mercury. So you could be dealing with a Gemini or a Virgo or a Sagittarius. Or you're just really working extremely hard to keep yourself busy and not think about all of the things that you have to do. Just think about and focus on what's going on in front of you. Could be very possible. I feel like with the Worlds and the Three of Cups, you're trying, and I also have the Five of Wands and Justice. I feel like you're trying to either close a chapter in your life regarding another person that you kind of had arguments with. Could be a Libra. But the freedom and it feels like the closing of this chapter is kind of given you, and it doesn't have to be a Libra, but it could be just somebody you're dealing with. Could have heavy Libra placements. This is freeing you up to be a little bit more social in your life. It's bringing, and like this Five of Wands and Justice are like the karmic retribution of you constantly battling yourself and getting up in your head. How do I balance myself out when I can't even figure out what to do next, right? This Eight of Pentacles is giving you the opportunity to do, you're in a testing stage, meaning everything that you have learned about yourself in 2018 and everything that you're doing moving forward, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to allow it to bring you back into the past and get you all tangled back up into karmic patterns that were no good for you? Or are you going to close that, regardless of what it is, whether it's a situation, whether it's a person, whether it's a job, I don't care what it is. Pick an element. If you're closing that chapter in your life, you're being tested. Are you really closing that chapter in your life? Or are you keeping yourself busy trying to manifest things when you're still kind of caught up in the wheel, in the hamster wheel. Because it feels like, yes, you're moving forward. Yes, you could possibly have some really good people on your side cheering you on. Yes, you are focused on closing certain chapters in your life so you can manifest things moving forward. You could be building a new life with a fire sign, but there's this battle with that karmic retribution that you've already let go of. Sorry, I talk really slow during Mercury retrograde. You're just going to have to like bear with me, because if I don't talk slower, then I'll get all jumbled up in my words and it'll be a big fat mess. And another reason why things have been taking so long, because I keep on getting stunted, I guess, when it comes to my everyday life. So I don't feel like you're going to be able to run away from the very last remnants of 2018 if you're still stuck on a notion, an idea of the way things are supposed to go. Because I think you want to manifest your future, but there's just this one little thing that's holding you back. And if that's the idea that you're supposed to, that by now you should be somewhere, or you should be doing something, or you should be a totally different person, whatever in your mind that you're thinking isn't right with your life, that's what's holding you back. You're in a testing phase. And the test is really your own thought process. And Mercury in retrograde until December 7th is really going to give you a run for your money. It'll be in a shadow period for a while too. Once we get to the Cancer full moon on the 22nd, things are going to be much more illuminated, because we'll have the North Node in Cancer and we'll have the moon in Cancer. And then the sun will be moving into Capricorn, which is just opposite of Cancer, shortest day of the year also. So there are a lot of possibilities of, just because you're a little bit scattered right now, you feel that there's an energy shift happening, you know that things are closing out in your life, you know that you have a bright future forward. But if you're ignoring the fact that there's still some shards of glass on the kitchen floor, what do I mean by that? You know when you break a glass in the kitchen and you think you get all the pieces, but then in the middle of the night, you get up to get a glass of water and you step on one of those tiny little slivers of glass and you realize, oh, I didn't pick them all up. And now you're in pain and you're bleeding all over the kitchen floor. Okay, maybe it's not that dramatic. But there are still some shards of glass that you're holding on to. Thought process, idea, the way things are supposed to be, quote unquote. The way you think things are supposed to be. So let's find out. So you're in great manifestation mode right now. You are able to bring thoughts into reality, or you're hoping that your thoughts will be bringing into reality. Are you manifesting an earth sign? Queen of Pentacles. So you could definitely, again, be dealing with an earth sign. I feel like this earth sign is probably working really, really, really hard at the moment and may not really be paying attention to what's in front of them or paying attention to anything except for work or paying attention to anything except for growth. So we have, could be a Taurus that you're dealing with or a Virgo. The Hierophant on the Eight of Pentacles. But again, there's this growth period. I think that you should really be focusing on your growth, whether it's learning new things, whether it's learning about your spirituality, whether it's learning about what it is that you still have to leave behind, instead of focusing on other people right now. There's not a whole lot of room for other people when you're in conflict with yourself, right? And I'm not saying that to not move forward on any actions that you want to take, on any new ideas that you have. Just because it's Mercury retrograde, I think that's kind of a fallacy that you can't sign documents, you can't do things, or you can't move forward or start new projects and stuff like that during Mercury retrograde. If it's something that you've been wanting to do, like I'm not a big fan of doing anything impulsively anyways. I used to do things impulsively and it always ended up very badly for me, which is weird because I'm a Virgo. So why would I do anything impulsively anyways? It was my Sagittarius moon coming in and saying, no, we're going to have fun. So I would do things impulsively. And Sagittarius season is going to give you that effect of, I mean, it's mutable fire. You cannot contain mutable fire. Just look at what's been happening in California. That's Sagittarius season all over the place, like just showing its ugly head. That's the ugly part of Sagittarius season. The good part of Sagittarius season is it gives everybody a drive. You know, why do you think Sagittarius season happens so fast? The time in between Thanksgiving and Christmas goes by like that. I mean, you can't even, that's like, it's a month, but it still goes by so incredibly fast. It's almost like what happened to that, right? I think you guys have a lot of drive right now, but focusing on other people and what's going on in their lives and how to do that is going to hinder your growth. So, I have the star, there you are on the Queen of Wands. So I was really feeling like your energy was the Queen of Wands, and this is just kind of clarifying that. You guys do have a drive to push forward, and you have a drive to get things done, and Sagittarius season is really giving that to you, and you have all the opportunity in the world to do what you desire. And if desiring sitting in front of the TV and not doing anything is what you desire, then that's great. I don't think that that's what you're doing right now. I think that you're actually kind of keeping yourself really busy. But are you keeping yourself busy by giving so much energy to other people and other things that you're forgetting to close out the old stuff first? And that's where the test is. Because as we move into Capricorn season and then into your season, Uranus has been doing, Uranus is your sign, or I mean your planet, your ruling planet. And it's been doing this ping pong thing back and forth between Aries and Taurus, which can drive you crazy because your mind doesn't know whether it wants to be on fire or whether it wants to settle down. I don't even know. So giving all of your energy to a particular area of your life that is not giving back to you, because the Six of Pentacles is all about the hierarchy system. Have you been begging for affection or something from other people, or are they asking of you and you're continuously giving and not getting anything back in return? This is where the cycle is ending. Because instead of focusing on manifesting for someone else in your life or manifesting to get someone else in your life, focus on your own goals and where you're headed. And when Uranus settles back into Taurus in the spring, I don't know if you remember earlier this year when Uranus went into Taurus eventually, and you just kind of got to take this big sigh of relief. Yes, there might have been some things that really changed for you, and that was like, what, the end of March, beginning of April? It was the beginning of May when it happened. This year just kind of is one big fuzz. It's a lot fuzzy for me. So much happened. I remember all of it. It was just a lot. When Uranus goes back into Taurus again, it'll be there for 7 years, give or take a few months. And it will be much easier to get yourself centered on where you want to go. Because when it went into Taurus initially, there were a few things that kind of like were still up in the air and you were like juggling with. And then it settled down in Taurus, then went back into Aries in retrograde, and it'll be in Aries until the springtime again. So doing this pinball thing Sure, you could be a little bit confused on where you're going and where you're headed and what's going on. On top of that South Node moving back into Capricorn, which is all about karma. So you were dealing with your karma, you were dealing with your planet, and in your 12th house, you also have Saturn and Pluto, which has been real fun for a while, all year long, right? And your 12th house is all about spirituality, it's all about growth, it's all about learning where you belong and what's happening. The darker side of things, the side that you don't necessarily show other people. Meanwhile, you have people coming in and out of your life and you're not entirely sure where the focus should be. You're being tested. What is it that truly matters to you? Where are you placing all of your energy? Are you giving it to people, places, and things that will give back? Or are you giving it to people, places, and things that are only there to break you down? Cycle ending. So now is a really great time to clean up the rest of the shards of glass. And even if you don't know who you can trust right now, because I'm going to be real with you guys, like, you know, I always am. You can't trust a lot of people right now. And it's because of what's going on in the sky. It's going to let up. This is just, don't believe everything you hear. And with Aquarians, it's so, one of the things that I love about you guys is that you take things at face value. But that can also be your downfall. Because when you take things at face value all the time, it's like judging a book by its cover. If a person looks really, really great and like they give off a wonderful first impression, instantly you get attached to them. Or you think, oh, this is a really great person. I'm gonna pursue this relationship, whether it's a friendship, whether it's romantic, whatever. Again, pick an element. But your social circle is under question right now. With the moon is in Pisces right now. But by the time we get to, Mars is in Pisces right now, which can make things very, very confusing. Neptune has also gone direct. So with that, a lot of that water energy happening, and we have Mercury in retrograde that has now moved into Scorpio as of yesterday. It will be going direct on the 7th in Scorpio, but that's a lot of water energy. Again, it's kind of reminiscent of Scorpio season. All of that water energy. Plus we have the North Node in Cancer. There's your trine. When we get to the Cancer full moon, things will be illuminated on who you can trust in your life and who you can't. And I want you to be very discerning when it comes to your social circle or when it comes to people that are showing up in your life right now, because you can't trust everyone. And if your social circle has been in question for a while, I really want you to ask yourself where you have been putting your energy and where you have not been receiving your energy back from. Because the karmic retribution, the justice that you have been trying to figure out, like, why the hell did this happen? How does this all work out? How is it going to even out in the end? Is still kind of up in the air. Right? So let's see. Yeah, see, 2 of Pentacles. But if you sit here and you vacillate and you try to figure it out on your own right now, you're not going to get any clear answers. And that's why I'm saying Sagittarius season is not a time right now, this Sagittarius season in particular, is not a time to figure out where your happiness is when there is so much karmic activity happening. 2 of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups on Justice and the Five of Wands. Because you're sitting here trying to figure out how to balance things out in your life, and all that's going on is this big old jumbled mess, right? You're like literally fighting with your own karma. And karma doesn't even have to be bad. Sometimes it's good karma. But literally you're fighting how to balance yourself out, and you can't fight to balance yourself out. You can't fight, like fighting with yourself or other people is not going to balance you out. What's going to happen to balance you out is to find an inner peace within you, right? You vacillating on where is my 10 of Cups and when is it going to get here? Where is my balance, right? Where's my happiness? Where? That's only going to keep you stuck with the Hanged Man, Queen of Swords, the Sun, and the Tower. When you are stuck and you're trying to find clarity, the Sun, during a Tower moment, and right now it's kind of a Tower moment. You may be feeling really good. What is a Tower moment? A Tower moment is something that can be a little bit uncomfortable. It doesn't have to last the entire month, but it's a situation or a feeling or a process that can be very uncomfortable to correct your course, to get you back in line, to get you back on course. And maybe this Tower moment was overindulging, 9 of Cups. Maybe it was you recognizing that you've been fighting and holding on to a cause in the 3D world, possibly with a fire sign, when you actually needed to be moving away from it. And it's either a fire sign or an earth sign that you've been trying to manifest into your life. Because this Tower moment is making you recognize that what you've been holding on to, the thing, the test. The Tower moment is the test. Whatever you've been holding on to, whatever those shards of glass that are left over on the kitchen floor, Sagittarius season is bringing this to light for you, that there are actually much better opportunities on the horizon that will bring you to great glory. And this is your karma. This is what has been written. So, and the South Node being in Capricorn for the next year and a half, and Capricorn being your 12th house, your karmic spirituality or your spiritual life, when it comes to past lives or even your childhood, will come up. And I think that that is a part of this, is you're trying to figure out, you're trying to build yourself in not only a very smart capacity, because what is the Hierophant? It's all about the higher institution, but it's about spirituality. It's about being prosperous. It's about wealth of knowledge. And it doesn't have to be like because you're just going back to school. It could be that you're just learning a lot more about yourself when it comes to a very spiritual part of you. And getting back on course with that, because the reason why the Tower shows up is because you're in the Hanged Man position. The reason why you're in the Hanged Man position is because you keep on manifesting something that's not on course with you. You keep on giving your energy to something when you really need to close it out. Whether you're going to say out loud to me right now, Betsy, but I left that. I let go of that person. I let go of that job. I let go of that thing. So you let go of it, but moving forward, are you looking for that reconciliation with that person? Are you looking for a similar job or looking in a new direction? Are you really trying to change your circumstances, or are you still sort of in the same spot that you were in a year ago? Even if it's not in the same job, even if it's not with the same person, does it look very similar? If it doesn't, you're right on course. then probably a lot of this doesn't apply to you. But this Tower situation puts into action where the Hanged Man could not. Because maybe you were looking at things in a different way and you were thinking to yourself, but everything does seem different. I do seem different. But if your life in general is not different and you're still kind of in a place of wishing you were in a certain job with a certain person. Tower moment. And that's where you have to fight to rebuild. But you can't hang on to Sagittarius season is not going to let you hang on to anything. Mercury retrograde and then Mercury going direct in Scorpio and then in Sagittarius might be a little jarring. But when it comes down to it, it's putting you in a position of great stability and fortune. And with the Ace of Pentacles and victory. Okay, so we have the Devil, the Queen of Cups, Strength, and Temperance. And then at the bottom of the deck is the Nine of Swords. So what I really want to say is I feel like you're going to do this up and down thing in December, where some days you're going to be really elated and feel really good, and the energy is going to feel just right, and you'll be like, yep, let's go, let's put our head down, I'm ready to go, I'm ready to get moving. It's like Sagittarius season is letting you point their arrow to go, right? But you are fixed air. You are not mutable fire like a Sagittarius. So the easiest way for you to get through this season is to plan, plan, plan. Yes, again, you can act on those plans. That's perfectly fine. But you're going to feel a lot more comfortable when we get into Capricorn season, and it's not always like a rush, 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 go, go, go. Because if you start acting on some things and they don't work out for you because you were in the planning stage and you were like, nope, I just want to go straight into action. If they don't work out from you, I feel like you're going to take a couple steps back. That's what the test is. Are you going to allow yourself to just plan and be patient right now, be patient and be strong? Or are you going to let the toxic karmic activity make you super emotional? Could also be dealing with a water sign or a Capricorn, Leo, Sagittarius. However, I just did Leo's reading, and they're sort of having to deal with getting centered themselves because of this whole North Node thing moving out. That can be a shock when something that's been in your life for the last year and a half, and now all of a sudden it's gone, and you're like, I don't really know what to do. If you didn't prepare yourself for this shift, it was a little difficult. If you did prepare yourself for this shift, it seems to me that you're recognizing where you want to go. You're just like, I'm kind of up in my head because I really wish that I could like act out on things and get things. Yes, that's fine. Do what you need to do. Just maybe not so impulsively. I mean, I am the Virgo telling you guys not to be impulsive. That's fine. But also don't take everything at face value right now, because half of the things you're going to realize were not true to begin with. Or maybe when the Cancer full moon shows up, you're going to be like, oh, that was a really great plan, but I'm not really feeling it anymore. That's why I kind of want you to allow the balance to take place. You know, the Queen of Cups represents Cancer because the queens are all cardinal signs. And then we have the South Node in Capricorn here. So I want you to find the even balance between all of this stuff, all of this movement, all of these planetary movements that are happening. Okay, and find the strength within the patience where you're not putting yourself in a state of anxiety just because you don't have anything right now, or you thought your life was going to look different by the end of 2018. Or you thought your life was going to look a certain way by the end of 2018 and it's not looking that way. Those kind of thought processes can keep you stuck. And if you keep trying to do one thing over and over and over again, and it's not working for you, and you keep hitting your head up against a brick wall, and you're like, why the hell is this not working for me? I've tried so many things. I've tried. Do it in a different way. Don't look everything at face value right now, because you're not going to be able to trust it. And part of that is your own thought process. Don't look at your thought process at face value right now. Some days you're going to feel really good. Other days you're going to feel like not getting out of bed. It's a test. Once we get to Capricorn season, once the Cancer full moon starts to illuminate things, you may feel completely different than you did before about all of the things that you wanted to do. Okay? All right, guys. I hope that made sense to you. But you know that, like, whenever I do readings for you, I say we do readings. Whenever we do readings together, some of the information is so convoluted sometimes. And it's like, I feel like I have to over-explain sometimes for you guys, because I don't want you to take everything at face value at what it is. Because it's like all or nothing for Aquarius. Either you have a thought process and you're really focused on that, or you're not going to do anything at all. So let's get out of that mode of thinking for right now and be a little bit more flexible with where you're going and what's happening in your life. Deal? Okay. I love you guys. If you want to do a chat-a-live session with me, I have 2-hour openings every Friday. They're broken up between 30-minute increments. So check all that information below. It's a live session with me. You can take a selfie with me during the session. It's really fun. So yeah, check it out. And I love you guys. Have a wonderful holiday season. What am I forgetting? Oh, I am going to be doing 2019 general readings, and I wasn't going to do the soulmate readings, but I've had a lot of people ask me about them because I was like, I don't even know if people want me to do them anymore, the soulmate readings by sign. So, but apparently they do. So I will be doing that as well. So just be patient with me. I'm going to get it all out. I promise. I love you guys. Have a wonderful holiday season. I'll see you in January. Wow, in January. Okay, bye.